everybody. I hope all is well. Here with another edition of Question Friday.
So, question one, what type of Hot Pockets do you like?
So I've always been partial to like the meatball ones. I think that's the classic, or at least to me, that's the classic Hot Pocket. So I would say like a meatball or like a sausage Hot Pocket.
I've never had a Hot Pocket to date.
What?
What is something on your bucket list that you haven't done?
So this is something I'm actually working on doing right now. There's, as of this moment, 62 national parks in the United States, and I would like to see all of them. I've seen, I think, 17 or 18 at this point of the 62, so getting there and planning on seeing 3 more this summer.
Do you think the sequel trilogy is as bad as I'm making it out to be? What is the sequel trilogy?
For Star Wars.
Okay.
So now there's an essay's worth of context for this question, but I wasn't going to have Mrs. Irsey read that all out again. I did read it, and it gave me a different perspective than I had before. I don't think it's as bad as you, Ethan, had made it out to be in the post, but I understand your frustrations with it. I think a lot of the fan service stuff had to do with the fact that the prequel trilogy was such a departure from the classic Star Wars format that it was felt that they needed to play it a little bit more safe with the sequel trilogy. But you did bring up some points that I had never really thought about before. I'm still more of a fan of this trilogy than the prequel trilogy because I really only like the third of the prequel trilogy, although Phantom Menace has grown on me over the years. I just really don't like the second one at all of the prequel trilogy.
That will probably make sense to half of the students. Will we be going back on April 6th?
No, we won't be going back on April 6th. The governor has put a shelter in place in at least until May 4th, I believe. So the earliest we'll be going back is Cinco de Mayo, and what a way to celebrate Cinco de Mayo than back at school.
I think it's May 4th is when we go back. That's the Monday.
But I think the governor's order is until May 4th, so I think now we would have to go back on the 5th.
Okay. But yeah, that's been communicated many times from the superintendent, so I don't know who sent that, and I'm kind of worried if they missed that communication. Thoughts on coronavirus, death toll being higher than 9/11? That's an interesting question.
Yeah, that is an interesting question. I think it really puts it into perspective that this thing that you've learned about every year, essentially since you've been in school, the death toll for corona has now passed that, and it really goes to show you that I know a lot of people make jokes and memes and stuff about this, but that this is a national emergency. A couple people I know have experienced it now or have lost loved ones due to it, so it's something I think that if we had taken it more seriously at the beginning, especially at the federal level, especially at the executive branch level, if we had taken it more seriously and planned out for it then, things would be a lot better. But hindsight's 2020, and now we just have to deal with this and realize the gravity of the situation.
Okay, different questions. Switching gears now. What's your favorite part of the day and why?
So I'm assuming you mean since we're like home and everything like that. Usually when I get to either film something like this or do a video or conference call just to get to see other people's faces and check in and see how they're doing. I've also been writing postcards to my friends and family as kind of like both a creative outlet for myself and as just a way to reach out. I highly recommend that. If you want me to send you a postcard, go ahead, and I have all your addresses, so I'll send you one if you want me to. Just let me know.
This also came from trying to declutter his postcard collection. So there's some very random postcards now being sent out.
Yeah.
Are Legos over or underrated?
I think underrated. I wish I had gotten into them more when I was younger because now I see online like all the cool things people build with them, and I wish I had those kind of like skills because it seems really interesting to me. So I would say underrated on the Lego front.
Where are the tier lists? The people are speaking.
Why don't we make it tier list Tuesday, and I promise you I'll have a tier list out to you sometime on Tuesday.
What do you miss most about South besides the people? I miss Taco Wednesday.
I know for the student Yari, Taco Wednesday is very near and dear to your heart. And for me, it's kind of like the actual physical setting of South because, as you know, I'm the head of the outdoors club. I really enjoy nature and everything like that. And I think South has a unique setting compared to some of the other schools in the city that we do have kind of like wooded areas and like areas to explore around us. And it's just nice to driving up there and kind of seeing the sunrise from almost the top of the city and seeing it shine over Worcester County. So I do miss that every morning.
Even though my classroom is very small, I miss just like being in it and walking around. I realize I'm doing a lot more sitting now than I do because I feel like I don't usually sit that much at school during the day. So my legs definitely miss walking around my very confined space. Replace COVID with Black Death or make COVID permanent?
So this is a good question, and we actually can treat the Black Death with antibiotics now. So bring back the Black Death. Let's do it.
This next question I love. Did Carol Baskin kill her husband? Why or why not? For context, this is referring to Tiger King, the Netflix documentary.
Yeah, so I would say yes, Carol Baskin killed her husband. There's just way too many signs pointing in that direction. Knowing that if you want a tiger to eat somebody, you cover them in sardine oil, which she casually drops at one point. The fact that his car was abandoned at an airport, but one where it would only be small planes that couldn't fly to Costa Rica, I think was just kind of a way to cover up the tracks, so to speak, and the fact that the missing gentleman had talked several times with his lawyer and gone to the police about behavior by his wife towards him. So I think all of it just lines up, but I don't know where the evidence is unless it went in and out of a tiger.
But they did reopen this case, so I think the publicity of this show has now caused the police department that was investigating it to reconsider their conclusions, which is interesting. What's the best color?
So the best color is like a dark green, like a foresty green. As you know, again, I like hiking. I like the outdoors, so greens always really speak out to me, and they kind of remind me of outdoors, and they make me feel at peace, and just kind of remind me of good things. So I would say like a dark green. I thought of black too because it goes with so much, but it's not a color, it's the absence of color.
What type of cheese is the best?
Smoked Gouda is the best. I like cheese that brings a little something else to the table. A lot of cheeses you can't really tell the difference, but smoked Gouda or even like a pepper jack bring a little something else to the table too. So those would be my favorite types, but smoked Gouda a little bit more so.
I'm going to ask the next two questions out of order, but what is your favorite Shakespearean comedy?
So my favorite Shakespearean comedy is A Midsummer's Night Dream. It's just wild and magical, and I feel like everything that a Shakespearean comedy should be.
Yes. And then, are you assigning weekly work for quarter four?
TBD. So we're going to be providing assignments as departments that kind of connect to what's going on in our world right now, and I'll keep putting stuff up about different revolutions, but in terms of like weekly work and kind of how grading is going to go for quarter four, we're hoping to find out more soon, and as soon as we know, I will get back to you and give you more details on that. But going to stay with kind of what we're doing now and trying to offer you a few different options as well. I'm going to share a couple more podcasts because I've been listening to a lot of podcasts at home, and I think you can learn a lot from them. Plus, it's a little change of pace from either a video article or something like that.
But as of 2:13 p.m. on Friday, April 3rd, we do not have any official guidance about what grades will look like for quarter four. After our Zoom session today, I was in another virtual meeting with Mr. Creamer. He had just rolled out notifications to teachers to have us do grades for quarter three as normal, but again, we don't know anything other than what we just finished for quarter three. So quarter four I know the principals have another meeting with Mrs. Benenda on Monday morning. Maybe we'll know. It's a tricky time because we want you to have answers. We want answers. We would like to be able to give you answers, but no one has answers, and questions keep coming up, and we're just trying to go with the flow.
All right. Well, thanks so much. We'll see you soon. Talk to you soon. Hope all is well. Bye.